Hey guys, it's Maymay and welcome into this review. As promised, this is a standalone video all about my new glassboardstudios.com mat. Now, if you would like to pick up one of these mats, there's a link in the description to the site as well as my coupon code. So be sure to use my code so you can get a little bit off of your purchase. And if you would like to win one, there's also a link to a giveaway where Glassboard Studios is giving away this mat, the 18 by 24 black mat. We'll give that away next Thursday, so be sure to go and enter that giveaway. Now let's put this thing through its paces. Breaking in here to ask you to hit that red subscribe button. It's free. Also hit the bell button beside it. You can help me reach my big goal this year of 400,000 subscribers. Okay, back to crafting. Now, if you know me, you know that the reason I never used a glass board is because of reflection in my studio. And that's still an issue for me, but I was able to work around it in this particular room because I only had one light over my desk. But I wanted you to see this. Do you see this here? That is a light reflection. So if this is an issue for you, if you have these kind of overhead fluorescent lights, you'll want to think about that. But also, this board is the black board, but they also have a white board, and it may not be the same. I think I'm going to order the white board and see how it does so I can tell you about that too. But for now, just know if you have these lights, you're going to have a reflection that you sometimes have to deal with. Now, again, I was able to work around it and use it. So today we're going to put this guy through its paces. But first, I want to tell you something. When this came in the mail, I thought someone had ordered a piece of artwork because it was packaged like artwork. So I am an art person from, like, if I go on a cruise ship, I usually buy some piece of art. And when they ship it to me, it's always packaged so nice. This was packaged the same. It had like blow molded foam that was holding it in the box. And it is not light, okay? This guy is sturdy. And one thing I want to show you about it is the back of it. Let me flip it over. And now, like I said, it's heavy, so let me flip it. So this is the back side of mine. You're gonna be able to see my camera and everything in the reflection. But you see how it's a full sheet of metal? It's super sturdy. Now what that full sheet of metal does is it lets us have magnets. So let me show you that. So this particular board, which is the 18 by 24, they have a larger one and they have smaller ones. This one came with 3 pawn magnets. They look like little chess pieces. Aren't they super cute? And they're easy to get off the board, which I love. And you can put them anywhere because that magnet, that board is everywhere. Look, it's sticking everywhere I go, and I love that. And honestly, I've never been much for using magnets on my work surface, but this may change things for me. Now, it's glass, okay, and it's tempered. So it is a really, really sturdy product. This is not, when you get the time, you'll be like, wow, seriously, especially for the price point. We're going to put it through its paces. Okay, the one thing everybody always says to me is, will alcohol marker come off? That's the big thing, because you know alcohol marker is a permanent marker, so we're going to find out. Now, if I had the whiteboard, you could really see this, but I have, like I said, the black one. But watch, you can still see it. See that marker on there? I'm going to let that dry. I did it right in the middle too. I have no idea what's going to happen here. I'm going to let that dry for a second. Another thing for me that is a nemesis with my boards is Glossy Accents. Do you guys remember the big stain on my board and it was Glossy Accents and I couldn't get it off? I'm going to put some glossy on there. Let that dry. Another thing I use all the time, so remember that's Glossy Accents, is my art glitter glue. So let's put some glue on there. That even splattered. That's funny. That never happens, but little extra test. And if we're going to do it, let's do it. How about some oxide ink? Now, I don't worry about the oxide. I think the oxide will come up just fine, you know, because it'll even come up. Well, not really. On my other board, because it's a little porous, sometimes that'll sink in and you can kind of see where it was. And how about some pigment ink? Let's put some pigment. I tried to use colors you guys will be able to see in camera, and I think you can. All right, what else have I got here to test out? Oh, we're going to test a knife on it in just a minute, but I wanted to try these first. All right, I'm going to give this a second to kind of dry, and we'll get right back together. So just for time's sake, I'm going to make that a little thinner so it'll dry faster. And I think I'll do the same with this. Just make it a little thinner so it'll get good and dry. So let's check this out. This is dry. You see that? Not on my hand. This is our alcohol marker. And you can see that it's dry. Let's check it out. Now, I want to try it with Squeaky Clean. This is my favorite. I want to see how that does. So what I'm going to do is squirt one squirt because I don't want to wipe everything else off. And I'm going to see if that gets that off. So look at there. Right through the middle. You see that? Completely gone just with my Squeaky Clean. I did not think Squeaky Clean would work. I got to be honest, on the alcohol marker, I kind of thought I would have to use something alcohol-based because alcohol lifts alcohol. But that is gone, completely gone. Isn't that cool? Man, I love that. I'm smearing this, but that's okay. Now we know this is going to come up, right? I'm going to wipe it without anything except just that little bit of residual squeaky clean that's on there and see what we get. Yeah, I felt like that would be the case because that's oxide and it's not really going to stain anything. Although, like I said, it does stain my matte surface, you know. All right, so there's that. Look how clean. Now this is our pigment ink and it's not really going to dry, and that's okay because it's also something we can use in projects. You can put your inks onto your surface and then you can use a brush with some water or what have you and then use it on a project. So you really don't want it to dry. That's kind of the benefit of the glass mat, but check it out. It's just going to wipe off. Now, I don't know, is it getting it all off? No, there's a little pink on my finger, you know, just so you might want to use a little cleaner later. I can see a little smudge. Can you see a little like smeary, probably from the pigment, like oil? And you can just clean that later. All right, we have to let these guys dry. Oh, this one's getting good and dry. Look at this. Yeah, that's getting dry. All right, here's what we're going to do. Can you see it? I hope you can. We're going to wipe. Okay, so I'm wiping the wet glue off. Do you see what's left behind? So let's do a simple test. Let's try squeaky clean and wiping, and let's see what that does. Pretty much gets that off. I want to leave a little bit. I could scrub this with a little bit of elbow grease and that would come off, but there's a little bit left and I want to show you. If you take a spatula or any flat edge, you can just kind of go at it and look, no scratches, no nothing. That's so cool. This makes me happy, y'all. The biggest thing that makes me happy is that, and look, here's a spot. The biggest thing is I can get such a large size of this mat because I need a large size for filming. The smaller, the 12 by 18s are usually not big enough for my filming. All right, let's see what we're looking like. Oh, that's getting good and sticky. Good and sticky. I have a feeling we know the answer. It's going to come right up. So let's do a little wipe. Okay, so you see what's left behind. Pretty good bit left behind. And that's with me just wiping with the rag. Let's try with some squeaky. I feel like this will be the toughest thing we take off. All right, there's with some squeaky, and it's not getting it all off. Now, on my regular mat, this would be devastating. Honestly, if that got on my regular mat, I'd be in so much trouble. Okay, ready? Let's scrape. And that is getting it up. If it weren't for this being a glass mat, it wouldn't happen. Trust me, I tried to get this stuff off of my other mat. I tried everything you could think of. Well, the only thing I didn't try was Goo Gone because I was afraid the Goo Gone would mess up my mat itself. Okay, it's completely gone. How cool. Now, you probably noticed this, but I want to point this out. The glass is smooth and the grid is underneath. So none of that scraping is going to affect your grid. That's wonderful because, you know, there's some products sometimes we get where whenever we're scratching on the surface, we can kind of mess up our grid, kind of scratch our grid off. Not with this one. All right, let's try cutting on it with a blade. So I haven't tried this yet because I haven't had a need to since I got the board, but we're going to test it out. But because this is metal backed, if you had a magnetic ruler, it would stick. You know what I'm talking about? But this one has that grippy, and I want to see how it does with me holding it here with this paper. So here's what we're going to do. Now, I'm going to attempt to cut through this paper in one pass. I do not recommend that. When you're doing this, you know, I always say more passes, less pressure, but I want you to really see how much pressure I'm putting on this onto the glass. And I'm nervous because I hate to mess up this mat if this is going to do it. So let's try to cut through in one cut. I don't know if I can. It seems to be trying. Oh, I did. Okay. So I pressed really hard. Let's see what we left behind. Ready? Not a thing. Not a scratch. Not, well, let me look harder. Okay, right in here, there is a tiny scratch. Let me try to buff it out. So here's the thing. You definitely on here want to do more passes and less pressure. I pressed super hard. I would never have cut that in one cut. Never, because it's dangerous. I like to go over and over. So I think if you dig in with your knife, you can scratch it. You're not going to see that. I doubt you guys can even see it, but it's a tiny little mark where the tip of the blade kind of got it. So be mindful of that. Is not a deal breaker for me. This mat is incredible, and I'm glad that Glassboard Studios reached out to me to try it because I would not have before. So there you go, guys. That is my review. I think it is incredible, and I think you will love having this in your craft room, and you'll come up with so many different ways to use it. I'm so grateful to Glassboard Studios for sending this to me. I would have never thought about it because of the light situation in my room. Like, you still see it there. But like I said, I was able to work around it. Now, if you would like to pick one up, you can by the link in the description and use my coupon code that is also in the description. But if you would like to take a chance to win one of these guys, Glassboard Studio is sponsoring a giveaway for this very mat, the same size I have, the same everything about it. All you have to do is click on the description, open it up, and enter the little giveaway. You answer one question and you're entered. Okay, so be sure to go into that giveaway because you just might win one, but go check them out. You can even buy extra magnets. If you want more magnets, you can get them on their site. Hey, thanks so much for being here today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review of my new mat. I just want to pet it. Y'all know me. I just want to pet it. All right, guys, until next time. Bye now.